Firstly, we're just going to outline the schedule and then a bit about what this competition is and what it means. And then what we're sort of aiming to do. We'll do some club intros, introduce our partners, and then the very exciting track reveal, prize pool, some timeline stuff, and also some logistics. So important things. Hopefully you can pay attention for an hour or so. Unfortunately, there's no Subway Surfers beneath to keep your attention, but we'll try and keep this as entertaining as possible. Cool. And as far as today's schedule goes, the sort of planned big events that we have is obviously this opening ceremony. Then we'll be doing some team matching, and then we'll have lunch, which is going to be very yum, and I am very looking forward to it as well. And then after that, we're going to have some rooms available both in this building and also Old Arts, which if you're a Monash student, we'll sort of be able to show you your way around. And you'll be able to use those to help kind of start working on your startups, or also meeting other people, chatting to them, and finding your teams as well. Cool. Do you want to do the start?
Oh, sure. So, hi guys, StartHack. What is it? So, it's an event where we want to introduce you guys to the startups, both globally and in Australia, as well as to more like startup ecosystems, how these problems are solved, and just how to make your own potentially in the future. So those are like the key goals that we have for this hackathon. So just building on the goals, we ideally have these 5 key things which we want you guys to get out of it. So introduce yourself to startups, mainly through our networking night, build a product, learn how to pitch. So for this hackathon, you'll be doing 2 live pitches alongside your code submission on DevPost. And we'll also be aiming to network with industry and solve real-world problems.
Awesome. I'll introduce what CISA is. So if you haven't heard of us before, we are in our 32nd year, so a bit of an older club, but we're the main sort of computing society that represents the University of Melbourne. We have kind of 3 big goals. We like to encourage student connection. Mostly that's done through networking, providing opportunities for students to sort of develop those skills outside of what you get, I guess, in traditional tutorials, and then also just promoting diversity and encouraging more representation in the tech industry as a whole. Definitely recommend joining or signing up. We do a lot of cool stuff, and we also give out a lot of free food, which is probably a big incentive for a lot of people as well. So definitely consider joining the club if you aren't a member already.
Okay, so about MAC. So we're one of the newer clubs here at Monash, and we have 4 key goals, especially for this year. We really want to let you know of the best opportunities that are available to you, be it internships, grad programs, etc. We also want to help you to reach your personal and professional goals, and also to foster a great community of like-minded individuals, especially through events like these. And lastly, to conduct impactful workshops to help you develop your technical skills. So if you're a Monash University student, feel free to sign up for MAC. We have a whole bunch of events, and we'll be doing more cool stuff like this.
We'll introduce, and we just want to say thank you to our partners that without them, obviously this event sort of can't happen, or definitely can't be as cool as, or as cool scale as we think that it should be or could be. So these include the Melbourne Accelerator Program, QDX, Entrepreneurship at Monash, Airwallex, Next Gen Ventures, and also Hex. So very grateful to have these companies partnering with us for this hackathon.
And just building on that, there's way more to come, and we'll announce those in the next week or so for our networking night, as we're aiming to have over 20 different startups and startup groups to come along.
Cool. We just wanted to start. Obviously, this is the first collab event, or unless you went to our EOX night a few days ago. So this is a good opportunity to just say hi to the people next to you, maybe introduce yourself. What are you studying? Which university do you come from? And just get to know each other a bit better. We'll keep this relatively short, a couple minutes, but break the ice a bit, I think, would be good. And if you're online, feel free to grab a cup of coffee or something. Cool. Alrighty, can I get your attention again, please? Good to see good conversations.
If not, do you want to use the mic?
I think it's on. Can we have your attention again, please, everyone? Thank you. There we go. Awesome. Hopefully you got to meet a few people, potentially your future teammates. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. We'll continue on with the presentation. So we're going to move into more of the logistics side of things. We'll try and get through it as quick as possible, but kind of important, so good to pay attention for it.
Yep. So going on with the event timeline, for this week in particular, we have quite a bit of things on. So we have like the QDX mentoring and workshops, both this Tuesday and Thursday. So just as a note, all the key details for this event will be shared with everyone on the public Notion page. So at the end of today's session, or at the end of the session, you'll be able to see the times for each of those, as well as the rooms. So we also have check-in and mentoring sessions, and those are ones where for check-ins, you would just fill in a form to let us know of your progress, and mentoring, it's basically an Excel sheet that you'll put in your team name, and you'll be able to be mentored by one of the reps at that time. We also have the preliminary pitches and networking night in week 3. So submissions as well are due on the 9th, but we'll talk about that more in the competition timeline. And yeah, at preliminary pitches, it will just be a 10-minute pitch on like your solution and what you guys have done over the 2 weeks. And at the networking night, it will just be like 20 or so companies with a whole bunch of people just coming to meet them. And lastly, if you do make it to the closing ceremony, this will be where two teams for each track will be invited to then speak. So yeah, that's roughly the event timeline for the next 3 weeks. So hopefully you guys can stay tuned, and if you ever need more info, it's on the Notion page that we've shared with you guys. Okay, as for the competition timeline, there's a couple key checkpoints that you guys will have to meet. So pretty much from 1:30 p.m., you guys can get straight into hacking if you want. And then by the Wednesday, we'll have team track and registration due. So that's when you'll have to notify us of which track you guys want to partake in, as well as what your final team is. Yep. And then in check-in form 2, it will just be your your GitHub, as well as any progress updates that you may have. And lastly, check-in form 3 will just be to check whether your preliminary pitch is ready before the pitch on Wednesday. And then, yep, dev post will also be due on Tuesday. And yeah, pitches are on the Wednesday and Friday that week. So yeah, that hopefully gives you guys an overview of like the timeline for the next 3 weeks.
Awesome. We'll move into the rules. So a few rules here, nothing super crazy, but firstly that all our participants have to be a university student. So that means that each team must contain at least one member from either the University of Melbourne or Monash University. So you can have team members that aren't necessarily from those two unis, but at least one person has to be from each uni per team. Team sizes will be between 2 to 4. And then also, the whole point of this competition is you're doing something new, so we don't want to see any previously worked on code being repurposed necessarily for this event. It'll be pretty tricky to do anyway with the tracks that we have. Awesome. And then the next sort of big step is registering your team. So we'll announce the tracks sort of shortly. Don't stress, you don't need to necessarily scan this right now. We'll send out all of the links and stuff later on the Discord and also the Notion page. But the first key checkpoint, as JC said, is registration. This needs to be done by Wednesday, 6 p.m. So you'll have about 48-ish hours, a bit over, to work out who you want to be in your team, first of all, but then also which tracks you want to work on sort of for the duration of the competition. It's a pretty simple form. You just got to provide your team name, so the names of the members, their emails, and then also Discord usernames, just so that we can know. But that will be the link to the form as well.
Okay, so for those who don't have access to the Discord, I'd recommend scanning this one, as this is a new Discord that we've made purely for the participants of StartHack. So I'll give you guys some time to quickly fill this in.
It's about pretty much all our communication will be. So if you're not on the Discord and you don't see potentially notifications or important information, unfortunately there's not much we can do. It's sort of on you to be in the Discord at that. Yeah. A link will also be sent out after this as well to everyone that's signed up through the Eventbrite. So, but definitely recommend signing up now. Really quick and easy to do.
Okay, we'll move on now. So finding teammates. So we have a couple of key tips for you. We'll be doing a teammate session straight after this. So when we're giving you guys lunch, feel free to reference any of these tips in order to help you find some teammates. Yeah, we'll move on now. So
Just really quick, and for people online as well, on the Discord we have a team finder channel, so feel free to also make use of that. Maybe you want to work on a track and you can't find anyone here today in person. Definitely make use of that. Chuck, brief description about yourself, what you're looking for, and yeah, there'll be another way to sort of find people to work together. Awesome. Lastly, we have kind of our big info hub, and also where we do a lot of frequently asked questions. So along with these slides, we've got basically a public information page. This is going to be sort of the main source of truth. All of the event details, the tracks, pretty much anything you'd want to know, the timelines, etc., will all be made available here. So sort of keep this. I recommend bookmarking it. There'll be links to it on the Discord as well. And also, if for some reason there's questions that you have that aren't answered on this page, definitely use the Discord, and we want to make things as clear as possible, and there'll be people frequently checking in and being able to answer your questions as well. But sort of the two key links, the first one's the Discord, this is the second one that I definitely recommend keeping somewhere easily available.
okay, we'll now jump into the tracks and prizes. So, yep, we have 3 key streams that we'll be focusing on for the next 2 weeks. The first one is high performance computing, and that's sponsored by QDX. We have FinTech, which is another one of our tracks, and then we have EdTech, which is sponsored by the Melbourne Accelerator Program. So we'll now jump into QDX.
Yeah. Yes. Cool. So Giuseppe and Dylan from QDX want to hop up and just introduce a bit about their company and also how their track is going to work in particular.
Thank you for the introduction. Let's get started.
Thanks, guys. It's very nice to see everybody here. I'm very excited by the fact of seeing people here participating to this event. QDX is an interesting company as it's trying to bring computer science into drug development with a plethora of new technologies. Specifically, what QDX does is to use the synergy of computational quantum mechanics, high-performance computing, and artificial intelligence to design new therapeutics. So it's quite a different approach from what has been done so far. We are exploiting the fact that with our technological capabilities, we can get extremely accurate at the design of novel drugs. To do this, one of our main strategies is to have simulations which run significantly faster than any other simulation that you can run on the planet. So we have the fastest software for running simulations that have quantum mechanical precision. Quantum mechanical precision means that our simulations of how these therapeutics behave in your body are have have an accuracy that is pretty much on par with physical experiments. Now you can immediately imagine that if you can run these simulations instead of running physical experiments, you can save a lot of time and you can save a lot of money. You can accelerate the drug discovery process, and also you can render it significantly cheaper. QDX is built in collaboration with the Digital Matter Transformation Lab, which is my lab. By the way, I am an associate professor at the University of Melbourne in digital innovation and in high performance computing. And I am also a co-founder of QDX and the head of research for the company. A few years back, I started building this technology, which was based on high performance computing, to run this simulation very, very quickly. They run on the state-of-the-art GPUs, so the most powerful GPUs that we have today. And by doing this, we built our code infrastructure. This has broken today 4 world records in high-performance computing using the largest machines that you can find on the planet. Our most recent record ran on these 75,000 AMD GPUs on the first exascale machine, which is at the Oak Ridge National Lab a few months ago. And so this, of course, is at the core of our technology, and is complemented then with artificial intelligence and in general additional techniques to allow us to further speed up the simulations and then to account for a whole bunch of statistics for an efficient design of the drugs. And with that, I will leave it to Dylan to explain a little bit more what this is going to be about.
Yep, thanks for the introduction, Giuseppe. So I'm going to present the task, your mission, so to speak, at a high level here. But we're going to be available for tutorials and workshops and questions. So if you have any questions, hold them in till the end, because we're going to cover it in lots more detail to come. I just want to give you a taster. So your mission is to build the fastest possible image recognition multi-layer neural network that you can. We'll be focused only on inference. You do not need to design or train the neural net yourself. We just want to see you implement forward pass on the CPU or the GPU incredibly fast. We're going to provide you with an exact architecture and set of weights in a GitHub repository, which we'll share after. We're also going to provide you with example inputs so you can test your neural network runs as expected. Rules of the road: you can't change the architecture, you can't change the weights. You can experiment with programming languages, we don't mind, but we do recommend you use C++ or CUDA if you want to have a real shot at winning. And we think you will want to have a real shot at winning once I reveal the prize pool. But yeah, the name of the game is to prove that you are a speed demon. I've been forced to say that, worthy of QDX and the DMT Matter Lab. So we're looking for talent, and this is a way that we're getting the word out about the exciting stuff QDX does and finding the next generation of HPC engineers. So I get as you can see on the slide, that's the set of the tasks. We're going to be running workshops to work you through each of these things. I'm going to present the prize money now. So, sorry, the criteria. You can compete as an individual or a team. We don't care. It's probably easier if you do it as a team, so you can split the work, but you get more prize money if you compete as an individual. You get one submission, so make sure you test it, make sure it works. Everyone's going to be obsessed on the same hardware in our HPC cluster. We will share you the architecture at a later date. You will want to consider the architecture when you implement it. That's going to be very important. The criteria is going to be awarded for speed. That's very important. We're a HPC, an AI company. Things need to run fast. Percent of custom implementation. If you implement exclusively using PyTorch, you will unfortunately get 0. We want to see some creativity here. If you do pure CUDA, we'll award you probably 100. If you write your own kernels. And originality in your approach. There are options here. I want to be clear that we're not interested in seeing things like quantization or messing with the neural net inputs. We want to see your focus on the HPC aspects of the neural network rather than messing with the architecture. This means that we'll have a fair playing field in terms of assessing computational performance. All right, on to the exciting bit. We have a total prize pool of $3,750. The first price of the CPU is $1,000 and a hoodie. That's cool too. The first price of the GPU is $1,500. I believe you're allowed to make a submission in each category. So if you win, you've got $2,500. That's quite a lot of money. That's pretty nice. That's the prizes. During these 2 weeks, the team is in Melbourne. Some of us have come from Singapore. Some of us have come from other places. We're going to run workshops, give tutorials. I believe emails are being shared around, so you're welcome to email us. We're going to run mentoring sessions. There's a reference implementation on GitHub, and I will share a Notion document as well with the task. But you will also stick around for a tiny bit after the end of this if you have any short questions. Thank you guys very much. We're really excited to see some really good solutions, some really exciting implementations. So please impress us. Thanks.
Thank you so much, Giuseppe and Dylan. We really appreciate being able to talk and share what seems like will be a really cool problem to work on, and also a really attractive prize pool, definitely. So, lot to be excited about. All right, cool. All right, we'll move into our second track, which is going to be a fintech. The track itself, if you scan the QR code, it will take you to a document with all the tracks on it. But essentially, the task is to produce a sort of revolutionize, or at least innovate in some way in sort of the fintech area. It would be something else you can sort of consider as well as an alternative track.
And so lastly, we have the EdTech track. So this one is provided to us by the Melbourne Accelerator Program. And essentially, we want to develop some sort of solution to improve tertiary education. So if you do want more details, all of it will be on the Notion docs as well as on the Discord. So feel free to check those out there. We won't go too in-depth into them today, but we'll now tell you about the other prizes. So in total for tracks 2 and 3, there'll be each $1,000 for the winners. And as for the other 3 prizes, we do have one for the best first year team. So for those who are all first years, if you guys team up, you guys can potentially win an extra $100. We do also have the most innovative prize. So based on your solution that you guys have made, we will be giving you an extra $100. And lastly, for those of you who are a bit more creative, if you guys want to make reels as well, you can earn a potential extra $50 for your team. And feel free to tag us as collaborators, both Sissa_Unimeld and Monash Coding. And that hopefully informs you guys of all the prizes that are available for this StartHack. And I think there are also a few other prizes which aren't monetary, which will be incentives to all these other startup programs throughout Australia. But we'll keep you guys posted with those throughout the next coming weeks.
So we'll introduce some of the QDX sessions. So as sort of brought up by QDX as the team themselves, they're going to be providing, there's 2 key sessions. The first one is actually tomorrow, 10 to 12 p.m., which will be hosted University of Melbourne, but I think also hybrid online, so you can attend digitally. And then also a second session on the 27th of June, 10 to 12. So keep those dates free, especially if you are interested in exploring the first track. Definitely bring any questions you have and what you might need help for. They're very talented, very knowledgeable, so they'll be able to answer whatever questions you do have. And then we also have some more general mentoring sessions. So this is for people doing any track, whether that be 1, 2, or 3. We have some mentors who are very kind enough to give us their time and come in and provide some additional help and check on how you're going. So these are the dates and times, as I think already mentioned by JC. and these will, again, everything will get rehashed, reiterated on the StartHack Discord. So definitely more incentive to join that as well.
Okay, so with preliminary pitching, so this will be at Monash, potentially at the Monash College campus in the city or the Monash Clayton campus. And essentially, you'll be doing a 10-minute pitch on what you have done over the past 2 weeks. And this will run for around 2 to 3 hours, depending on how many teams we have. And then shortly afterwards, we will have the networking night. And as I said before, we'll just have like a whole bunch of different startups and startup groups who come along to go meet you guys, to see what you have done, but also to just broaden your network in the startup ecosystems.
Yeah, and then sort of the final capstone event of the competition is the final pitching night. So essentially the opportunity to take home what I think are some pretty cool prizes. So it'll be at the University of Melbourne, hosted here. It's going to be on the 12th of July. The exact time is still being finalised, but most likely towards the evening. And essentially you're going to be bringing a working prototype, a demo, and also like a really cool pitch. And the finalists will be able to pitch their ideas again to a big sort of cool audience, and we'll be able to select our winners of each track as well. Cool. Thanks everyone for listening. The slides are here, so feel free to scan and save that as well. Again, it'll be posted on the Discord, so you'll be able to find it. Plenty of places if you want to look back over. But yeah, we're really excited to have everyone here. I think this is going to be a really, really cool event, and you'll hopefully be able to get a lot out of it over sort of the next 3 weeks as well. Cool. Anything you want to add?
Yeah, that's all from us. Just we're keen for you guys to participate in this startup hackathon, and yeah, we'll stay back now to have some food and some team matching.
Yeah. Do you want to introduce that?
Alright, so for the team building, you guys should just go around and network. Food will be here around 10 minutes. So just wait for the food, it'll be around the outside area, and just stick around. Thank you.
Yeah, and thanks to everyone that came online as well. Definitely make use of the Discord, especially when it comes to the team building stuff. Trying to find teammates as well if you don't have any already. And if you are able to come down to some of the in-person events, it'd be great to see you at some point. But yeah, definitely stay tuned. Cool things to come. I really appreciate it.
Thanks so much, guys, and we'll be ending the stream now. See you guys.